Listening to Spirit's highest idea is a key to unlocking the boundless potential within us. As we attune our hearts and mind to the wisdom of the universe, we gain access to insights and guidance beyond our wildest imagination. It is in this receptive state that we become co-creators of our destiny. As Helen Keller once said, the best and the most beautiful thing in the world cannot be seen nor even touched. They must be felt with the heart. Embrace the profound power of inner listening, for it leads us to the extraordinary and illuminates the path to our true potential. And so as you close your eyes and go into meditation, ask yourself, that spirit within, to reveal to you any and all thoughts to unlock your potential. Father, Mother, God, Spirit divine, infinite intelligence, love, all that is, everything that we breathe, we see, we experience, it is all the one. And as I know that truth of Spirit being all that is, I know that I am connected to that. I'm connected to that greater idea, that greater feeling, that greater knowing of the divine that moves through me. And as I know that for myself, I know that for every person here and every person that will be listening to this talk afterwards. The Spirit is moving through each and every one of us in mighty, mighty ways. And so I know and accept today that our speakers come from a place of the heart, come from a place of knowing, come from a place of allowing that divine to move through them. I give great thanks for the technology, for the music, for the talent, for everyone that is here, knowing that we came here on purpose today to hear this message, to accept and to know that Spirit is moving through us and that we are giving ourselves the gift of the Word, of the One. And so I bless today and all that we do, all that we think about, our laughter, the fun, those that have been here before and those that are new. I bless all of us, and I give great thanks for that. And with that, I simply say, and so it is. So now, we're going to bring back our very own Victoria and Sylvia. Yay!
Hello, everyone. Hi, Sophia. Yeah, I know. We have a fabulous audience out there, and I'm going to ask them to participate in the middle of the song. I'll give you a clue when. It's one of my favorite Karen Drucker songs. This or something better is waiting for me. I know that this or something better is the key that will set my heart free. I'm gonna let go of control. I'm gonna get out of my way. I know the universe inspires to bring me heaven today. I know that this or something better is waiting for me. I know that this or something better is the key that will set my heart free. Tired of playing it small. Think I should. The universe stands up to meet me, to claim my highest form of good. I know that this or something better is waiting for me. I know that this or something better is the key that will set my heart free. Take it away, Sylvia. Okay, this next chorus is where I want you to help. I know it, I claim it, I have it right now. 2 times. I know it, I claim it, I have it right now. I know it, I claim it, I have it right now. I do, I know it, I claim it, I have it right now. I know it, I claim it, I have it right now. And this or something better is waiting for me. I know that this or something better is the key that will set my heart free. I'm gonna say yes to my dreams. Let my imagination soar. I know that I have gifts that I must use, and that is know that this or something better is waiting, come on, for me. I know this is your part. I know that this or something better is the key that will set my heart free. I know it, I claim it, I have it right now. I know it, I claim it, I have it right now. I do, I know it, I claim it, I have it right now. I know it, I claim it, I have it right now. And this, I claim or something better right now. This, I claim or something better right now. I know that this, I claim or something better right now. This, I claim or something better right now. I know that this, I claim or something better right now. This, I claim or something better right now. I know that this, I claim or something better right now. This, I claim or something better right now. I know that this, I claim or something better right now. This, I claim or something better right now. I know that this, I claim or something better right now. This, I claim or something. What you gonna do right now?
Are you recording it now? I think they deserve another hand round, don't you? Good job. Okay. I know it too. I like that. You You sounded like me. You're cute. Is it? Okay. All right. So today's again a special day. I love my practitioners. They are my heart. Besides my ministers too. Good answer. Thanks. And I'm not shy either, am I? Anyway, Sophia's here today to give us her expression of God right now. You ready? Yes. Let's give her a round.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. And thank you, Sylvia and Victoria, for that fun song. All right. So today we're talking about listening to Spirit's higher idea. And when I saw the topic, I thought, well, this is actually for me. So, as I always say, there is no coincidences. There is nothing that happens that's not supposed to happen. It just happens, right? And when I got the topic, I thought, well, isn't the highest idea God ideas, like Reverend Suzette always says, like the God idea? And I asked my friend Wendy what she thought about the topic, and she said, well, isn't that just being your higher self? Just listening to your higher self and you becoming your higher self. And I thought, well, maybe we should just go deeper into what that topic really means. And I always like to give examples from my own experience because I feel that life is about you experiencing life yourself, We're here to help each other, grow, but the growth actually begins with us. We have to grow ourselves too. So let's see. I came across this quote from Rumi, and I thought it was interesting. It says, when you run after what you think, or what you want, what I think I want, my days are a furnace of stress and anxiety. If I sit in my own place of patience, what I need flows to me, and without pain. From this, I understand that what I want also wants me, is looking for me, and attracting me. There is a great secret here for anyone who can grasp it. And I thought, well, what does it really mean? I mean, when we think about what we want, do we think about what we want on the superficial level, or do we think deeply about what you know our spirit wants, what our soul wants, or what the innermost part of us wants? What is it that we're really seeking? And I think most of our 3D experience, or the experience that we have here in life, is that we want things outside of ourselves, but never things that are deep within. And I think that what that topic is calling for us to do is to, sit with ourselves and think deeply about what it is really we want as spiritual beings. 2 months ago, I felt as if I was on a spotlight in a chair, and the chair was like spinning around, quickly revolving. And I was like, oh my God, those existential questions were coming to me again. Why am I here? What is it that I'm doing? What is it that I really want? And a month ago, when Mava had her graduation as a practitioner, 2 different people asked me why or how I had the calling to be a practitioner. I was like, that was interesting to me, because I was like, what a coincidence. How could 2 different people be asking me the same question, and me having to tell the story about about how I got to be a practitioner? Is it spirit telling me something? What is it that's calling to me? What is it that's that I'm being asked to look at, or question about myself, or where I was going, or what I was doing? And those were the questions that were sitting with me for a while. And lately, I've been having like the word soul come up for me, in different ways at different times, and I'm like, what does my soul really want? And then that's the deepest part of ourselves. What is it? That individualized self of us that we call spirit, or we call God. What is it that individualized spirit within me wants to accomplish here in this space, in this time? And who am I really becoming, or who do I want to become? Because I feel that the reason why we're here is not to accomplish, what we deem to be success or failures, or accomplishments, but really to evolve ourselves as humans, as that spiritual part of us, or part that's the ultimate, the highest part of ourselves, right? We're here to evolve. We're here to grow and expand and be more and do more and express more. And what does that really mean for each one of us? And that's a deep question. And I feel that question, what does my soul really want, is something that I'll invite everyone to sit with and ask yourself, what does my soul really want? Is the one coming from that innermost part of me, or is it the one that my experiences or my environment dictates that I should seek, right? Is it the car? Is it the house? Is it the friends, or the trappings of, wealth and whatever? Are those the really important things for me here and now? And one of the books that I came across when I was asking those questions was The Buddha and the Badass by Vishen Lakhiani. And he told, in that book, there was a story about a grandfather telling his grandson about the seed. And it's like, if you have tomatoes, to get tomatoes, you have to plant the tomato seed. To get whatever fruit you want, you have to plant that particular seed of that fruit. And that in each one of us is a seed that has been implanted by the divine. And we're here to grow into something. What is that seed that's within each of you that needs to blossom, that needs to grow Have you ever sat down to think maybe, that same existential question, what is that seed? What is it within me that needs to blossom? What is it within me that needs to grow? What is it within me that the world needs to experience to know the divine? That's a deep, deep, deep question. And whatever seed you produce is what you're meant to produce. So the invitation is to sit down and meditate and think on that question. What is my seed? What seed am I? What am I here to show the world? What am I here to reveal to the world? Because we always say that healing is a revelation of the truth, and the truth is deep within. What is that truth within you that needs to be revealed to the world? That's a big existential question. So that's the invitation to sit down and think about yourself. That special person that you are, the world needs to know. The world needs to have that to heal itself. Right? You need to discover that in order for us to heal. So we need you. And so that is the invitation to listen to that authentic self within yourself. I wanted to tell, this story came up while I was sitting down, while Reverend Suzette was saying her prayer. Because I had talked to her before about my topic, and she said, why don't you talk about your life? And, one part that I distinctly remember was that when I was much younger, before I married my ex-husband, I looked at him and I knew that I was going to marry him. It was just like an instant knowing. And of course, you have to go through that process to get to where you're married and everything. And then I remember, again, I could still remember that scene. I was looking at him one day. My youngest was somebody that was just a baby then, and I was looking at him, I was like, one of these days, I'm just going to be there with just my kids. I didn't know what was going to happen, but it was like a knowing. And I didn't even remember until much later that that thought had occurred to me at that time. And then when it was time to leave the relationship, I knew again that it was time to go. And that was just a huge conflict in my mind, because I was like, if I knew that I was going to marry this person, why am I leaving this person? But it was something that I knew had to happen, but I still, was questioning and worried about making the wrong choice or the wrong decision, or if this was really true, if this was something that I knew or had the feeling that was going to happen, why did it happen? But I remember that at the time I was going through the process of getting to the point of leaving, I was asking the question, why is this happening to me? Why am I going through this? And the thought came to me, this is a lesson. And I knew then that it was something that I had to go through, to get to another point in my experience or in my life experience. So this is how would I say, like following your life stories or following your life lessons or listening or tuning into what is coming to you at every different point in time. Sometimes you hear the information ahead of when the event happens, but still going through with that is part of what your life process is. But you're just required to just sit still and listen and follow. And everything that you need comes to you when you need it. Because I remember that even at that point, at the point in time when I knew, or before I knew that what was going to happen, I knew I had to have support to go through the event, right? And I know that at the point in time in one of my meditations, I had to find a community. And how I found home was that process. I don't know if I told the story before, but I went to the metaphysical store that was in La Mesa at that time, Mystic Isle. And I was about to leave the establishment, and the lady pulled me back and said, there is an event going on, and I think that you should. She handed me a flyer. I'm like, okay, I'll come over. And I went to the event, and I was like, oh, this is not the right place for me. It doesn't feel right. This is not it. And then I went back again to the Mystic Isle, and as I was about to leave, I saw the calendar, and I picked it up, and I was like, well, this seems like, let me try this place the next Sunday. So I went to the next Sunday, and then as I listened to Reverend Suzette and, everything that I experienced that day, I was like, oh, this is it. This is everything that I always wanted to hear. This is everything, everything that I thought, or the way that I thought about life was explained to me the same way. I mean, these people think the same way that I do. And this is it. And that's how I stayed at home. And going through the experience of having to dissolve that relationship, Reverend Suzette was like a huge support to me. And so was Om. So everything or everyone that I needed, at the time that I needed it, everything that I needed came to me because of those prompts that I had and listening to those prompts. At the times I listened to those prompts, everything just worked out, right? So I don't know what your soul has been doing, because I was, as I was going through this period, I looked at the different decades of my life, and I tried to see at the things that I was going through at different points of my life. But I see that how those points of my life progress and how I've been guided towards those different points in my life. And again, it's that tuning in and listening to what's happening, what's being said, and what's being revealed to you, and following it. You need to know what your values are, what's important to you. And for me, family has always been important, and friendships, and of course, love. And you tend to find out the reason for your being, on the reason for why you do the things that you do, how you respond to things the way you respond to things, once you begin to tune into that innermost part of yourself. And that's the invitation, to tune in. And in my foray within the decades, I forayed into into the Pentecostal life. And one of the passages that I remember that actually made an impression on me from the Bible was Paul's letter to the Ephesians 4:8. He says, finally, brethren, whatever things are true, whatever things are honest, whatever things are just, whatever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if they be of any virtue, if there be any praise, think on those things. And I think that that's what Science of Mind does. I mean, reminds us to do, to focus on the good, to think positive, live that positive lifestyle, sit with yourself and think and contemplate where am I headed? What's important to me? What are the things that are of value to me? And life becomes easier. Life becomes easier. I think I've been very, very serious about this. I'm sorry for that. But Mary will take it from here. And thank you for listening.
Thank you, Sophia. That was great. Sophia and I had a conversation this week, and we both, just like she said, this is what I'm going to talk about. I think it was that Bible quote, and I said, this is what I'm going to talk about, and I was like, okay, that was easy. And you know how they say we make plans and God laughs? Anyways, so when I started writing my talk, I just made a total U-turn and wrote about something totally different. So that's all right. You don't know the difference because you don't know what I was going to talk about, and I'm not going to tell you. I'm kidding. So, yeah, the title is Listen to Spirit's Highest Idea. And I was thinking, so what's that mean, listening to Spirit's highest idea? Came to Science of Mind. It was 1998. I was pregnant with my first daughter, and I was extremely hormonal and emotional. And I cried through the service and met with the practitioner afterwards. And it was so confusing to me, this idea of like letting go and letting God and surrendering to the flow and the process. And then also learning that I was to manifest what I wanted in my life, you know, and Sophia was talking about manifesting things on the exterior, on the outside. You know, I want a red Corvette, right? And what I've learned is it really the red Corvette that I want? Just like Sophia was talking about, it's the inner, it's what our soul is seeking, right? What does a red Corvette mean to me? Does it mean freedom? Does it mean demonstrating abundance and prosperity? Does it mean feeling sexy and alive and, you know, just awesome, right? So it's less the stuff, the material things, but it's what we're trying to experience. For me, it's what I'm trying to experience. And it was really confusing to me in the beginning between being a conscious creator of my life and letting go and letting God. They didn't seem to match up to me. They seemed contradictory. And that's the funny thing about these spiritual principles is they're like a paradox. When you first look at it, it doesn't look like it's true. It doesn't look like it can work. But when you investigate further, you realize that it is true. How many people here have taken the Foundations class? Okay, so a lot of you have taken the Foundations class. One of the things, I believe it's in the Foundations class, is from, I love that we're pet friendly around here. Well trained, huh? So one of the things that I believe I first saw in the Foundations class was The Kingdoms of Consciousness by Reverend Marcia Sutton and Lloyd Strom. And we moved through these kingdoms of consciousness. You know, when I first came here, I had a to-me consciousness. I felt like I was a victim in this world, like life was happening to me. I didn't feel like I had control in my life. It was always their fault, blaming. Felt like I was a victim. And as I've sort of evolved and grown in myself through doing a lot of the work that I've learned around here, taking classes, becoming a practitioner, all that stuff, and trying to go deeper, you kind of grow into, you learn that it's by me, right? I can manifest, I can create the life that I want. Beginning to take my power back, no longer feeling like a victim of circumstances. Beginning to manifest more positive people and outcomes in my life. Feeling empowered and beginning to trust. I think I shared last week, because I spoke last week too, I shared last week that one of my favorite things to do when I was a kid was to play school and be a teacher. So I'm kind of approaching this Giving Sunday talks as playing school. So join me in playing school. So the next step, as we evolve, the next step is it's done through me. Realizing my oneness with the divine and allowing Spirit to move through me and operate through me. Expanding my trust and surrendering. So here we have, in the by me consciousness, it's like I'm doing it. In the through me consciousness, I'm allowing Spirit to do it through me. And then, as we evolve further, as me consciousness, that's when we come into that place where we really know our oneness with the divine, and we know that we are an expression of the divine. It's more than an intellectual understanding of oneness. We actually feel the connection with the all in all. We see without judgment or attachment to people, things, or outcomes, and we experience more freedom and inner peace. One of the things I remember in practitioner training was not only to see God in the world, but to see the world as God sees the world. And that's my goal, is to see that. And I share a lot. I talk a lot about my work because it's very meaningful to me, and I work with felons in jail and people who are struggling with substance use problems and things like that. And I love to be able to bring that practitioner consciousness into my work. And I feel like, when I was younger, and a lot of you know that I'm sober, I'm in recovery. When I was younger, I never felt seen. I didn't feel seen, I didn't feel heard. So in raising my kids, I really wanted to give them an opportunity to feel heard. And at one point I felt like I'm kind of raising monsters, because now they think everything is negotiable, right? And sometimes it's just like, no, you can't do that because I'm the mom and I say no, And I remember my daughter, who's doing amazing right now. She's her name is Grace, Amazing Grace. She's up at UCLA getting straight A's, she's rocking it. But I remember her getting in some trouble, and I in high school, and I told her to write an essay about why smoking weed as a teenager was bad. And she did just the opposite. She wrote an essay about all the reasons why you should smoke weed, So it was not always easy. That path, trying to give them, critical thinking skills and things like that, was not always easy. But I feel like it allowed them to be heard and allowed me to have a relationship with my kids that I never had with my own parents. remember, kids are meant to be seen and not heard. And, I would never talk to my mom about smoking weed, although I did plenty of it as a teenager, and anyways, so I don't know why I kind of digressed off onto that. Yeah, right. So the kingdoms of consciousness, we don't stay stuck in one area. We don't stay in one stage of this evolution. And there are days when I go back to the to me, it's being done to me. But I do have a way out. We all have a way out. We can become aware, being the observer. We learn around here to become an observer of ourselves and our thinking and our behavior. We can be an observer and see, where am I at in these stages of evolution? And so some days I'm going to feel like a victim. Others days I'm going to feel like I'm doing it. Some days I'm going to just know that spirit is flowing through me, and other days I'm going to really know and feel my oneness with the divine. So this is an example of the through me, Joseph Campbell. We must be willing to get rid of the life we've planned so as to have the life that is waiting for us. I love that. Because I can tell God, I want a red Corvette. I want a red Corvette, right? and think I'm manifesting this red Corvette. I have a friend who wanted a BMW because BMW was the thing to have at the time, right? It was like in the 90s or something. And she was doing the work and, manifestation, law of attraction, all that stuff. And she met somebody who worked for Mercedes. And they ended up talking, and it turns out she got a Mercedes. So it's like, did she not manifest what she wanted? She manifested what she was seeking to experience, and it happened to be a Mercedes instead of a BMW, right? So Rumi, we have a couple of Rumi quotes today. Rumi said, "Out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right-doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. When the soul lies down in that grass, the world is too full to talk about. Ideas, language, even the phrase each other doesn't make sense." That's so beautiful. And when I look at that, I can't rationally explain it, but I can feel it and I can know it. And that's the as-me consciousness. That's knowing that spirit is, that I am the expression of the divine. As me. Spirit is living and experiencing itself as me, as you, as only you can. There's never been anyone exactly like you who has ever had a purpose exactly like your purpose. There can be 100, there can be 1,000,000 painters and artists, but no two of them are going to be exactly the same. I had a friend who wrote a book on pet astrology. And she'd spent years, writing this book. And then she didn't publish it because somebody else had published a book on pet astrology. Isn't that tragic? It's like, I don't know. We just need to open up and know how unique and individual and amazing we are. So the call to action this week is to just maybe think about these kingdoms of consciousness. Start paying attention to where you are. And allow yourself, if you're in the to me stage, you're feeling like it's being done to you, just maybe open up to the possibility that you can move through these stages or kingdoms of consciousness and change your experience of whatever is going on in your life. So I invite you to do that this week. Thank you.